Hey guys, so today's video is on how to reroll in the Alchemist Code. So if you made your first account, you got up to a decent level, did your first summons, and you didn't get what you wanted, maybe you only got one 5-star or no 5 stars, maybe you only got some terrible 4 stars, or maybe you had your heart set on a certain unit such as Shayna or Rosa or Bolt, and you didn't get them, then re-rolling when you're low level is probably the best idea, as it lets you keep trying to roll on certain banners until you get the units you wanted without having to destroy too much of your progress. Now, you don't need to reroll in the Alchemist Code. All of the story mode and most of the easy events are accomplishable with pretty much any team, and Logi and even Diaz are both fairly decent units early on, with Logi becoming amazing later on, so investing in the main characters in this game is actually pretty worth it. The later events and the harder events, you're going to need specific teams for anyways, or really good units, so just pulling a single copy of most units, such as Magnus or Vettel, won't really help you, as you want multiple units to unlock most of the good 5 stars potential. The only real exceptions to this rule at the moment would be Shayna and, to a lesser extent, Ryle. But on to rerolling. So you've got your account, you don't like what's happened, and you have not linked it to Facebook. Because if you link it to Facebook, you cannot link another account to that Facebook. So this is you can do this on any Android device, and it takes a long time, but it's fairly painless in how you do it. You just have to devote the time to doing it. So first you get out of the Alchemist Code, and then you go to the file manager. So here you can see I'm in the Android directory, then the data directory, then sg.gumi.alchemist.ww, then files, and you can see a file here called gu3c.dat. Dat is the file you want to delete. So on Nox, you just click and hold, and you press delete. Then you restart the Alchemist Code, and your account should be deleted. So we just wait for it to restart. And the .dat file basically is what keeps all the information on your profile. Every time we get a maintenance, they try to remind people to connect to Facebook, because otherwise there is a small chance that your account could be lost, as all of your information, at least for your specific profile, is saved locally. So in order to reroll as quickly as possible, you want to skip everything that's already happened. You don't want to look at any of the story, you don't want to read text for longer than possible, you just want to click through like crazy and do the combat parts of the tutorial as quickly as possible. So there are a few small tips and tricks that I can show you that you can use to make it go a bit faster. And the first tip is just over here. So we get to see Logi and Diaz fighting, with Agatha crying over Zeki's body. Standard anime protagonist talk. Agatha goes, "Why are you both fighting?" And we just skip on as they both summon their units. Chloe and Lofia for Logi, and Zahar and Zangetsu for Diaz. So originally, when you do this the first time, it teaches you how to fight and forces you to use, I believe it's Shield Bash. However, once you've done this the first time and you're re-rolling, you don't need to do this anymore. You can run right up to Diaz and use your Master ability. And because you don't need to kill Diaz to end this fight, you just need to take him down to, I believe, a 25 or 20% HP threshold. Using your Master ability on him will instantly end the fight without having to go through all the other turns, which saves you pretty much a good minute on the fight itself. So after this, we get more standard anime protagonist talk. Agatha keeps trying to prevent them. Logan and Diaz keep refusing to listen to reason, and they kill Agatha, who says that her love will never fade despite them just killing her, and a weird light shines in her eye. That is important lore-wise, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. So after that weird trip into the future, we get to travel back into the past, where we will do the next part of the tutorial. So for some reason it's not letting me skip here, but usually it will let you skip right away, and you'll just skip this as well, skip that as well, and then you get to go to the reroll part involving the two members of Ratharis' deadly trio, these being Vlad and Neville. We meet Caesar later, and Sabaretta's, of course, being the mastermind behind it all. Alright, so Vlad, we get a bit of plot exposition, learn about the Kingdom of Ratharis, Traitorous Kingdom of Envilia, and we get to meet our protagonists looking a little different from how they just did. So I just click madly like crazy to get past all this. You can probably hear my mouse clicking like crazy. So the trick to this fight, to have it end as quickly as possible, is not just to kill Vlad, because if you do, Diaz will then go to kill these things instead of helping you. So you might as well just kill these things so they don't get their extra turns. And Diaz will also kill his enemy. And then you both get to kill Vlad. This, I believe, takes 2 rounds, as you both need to hit Vlad twice, maybe 3 times. And try to get the back attacks on him, just because, due to the small variance in how much damage you will do with the basic auto attack, if you do slightly too little, you will not activate the proper HP thresholds, and unfortunately, you will have to take an extra round of attacks. So there we go, we activate the first HP threshold, and we get to enter the second part of this chapter, Neville's Trepidation. Now here the major parts are the Ouroboros, our first summon, and then finishing off Neville as quickly as possible. So once again, we skip past all the text as quickly as possible. Vlad sacrifices himself to summon Neville the Ice Snake. Logie and DS unfortunately keep trying to give us more plot exposition. So here you run to the left of Neville and just hit him. Then DS will run in front of him and hit him, and then Neville will hit you with an attack. Logie will say something, so you want to skip that as fast as possible. You both hit him one more time and decide that it's impossible, but you're going to try it anyways. Because why not? We're anime. Here we go, Retribution Blade. And Diaz gets one last attack in, and then the next cutscene starts. So, realistically, all you're trying to do in minimizing the reroll time is do as little actions as possible in order to achieve what you need to do for the tutorial. That means as soon as you can skip through text, do it. As soon as you can skip a cutscene, do it. And the faster you can do any of the normal actions, such as attacks and finishing your turns, the better. Because it might not seem like it takes a lot of time if you're just doing it for the second or third time, but if you have a specific unit in mind, for example, your waifu is an off-banner unit, or even an on-banner unit and you're just being unlucky, or even worse, you want to get 2 copies of the same unit. If you want, for example, to use Vettel or Magnus, they are both only really good once you have 2 copies of them. A Job 1 Magnus or Job 1 Vettel can both carry you through the story, but a Job 2 Vettel or Job 2 Magnus can carry you through everything at this stage in the game. So we get our summons out quickly, and there's a few small positioning things that you want to take care of here, as otherwise you will block off certain attacks. So for the mage we just summoned, as a ranged unit, we are going to be placing him up here behind Logie. For Lambert, we want to place him right in front, as that takes the minimum number of steps so he can make his move sooner next time. Yeah, right behind Logie, put a firebolt, and we don't want to place it right there because otherwise Diaz will not want to step there. For Melia, I want to say it is, place her over here. Don't put her next to Neville, as we want Diaz to be able to step over here. And if you get lucky and get some crits here, you can actually end the fight in the first round of attacks. So here we go, we get the Firebolt. And the reason I'm moving her is so she doesn't get more turns and force us to end turns more quickly. Alright, and here Logie ends the fight. Neville dies, we get a few more cutscenes, and then we get to the fun part where we get to finally start the actual chapters and stories, earn our gems, and do some actual rerolls. So one other thing to note when you're rerolling, if you're not rerolling for a specific banner unit, try and get any of the banners that are ending sooner out of the way as quickly as possible. For example, today we have a banner ending in 11 hours. So as this account is not rerolling for anything specific, I just wanted to make this a free-to-play account to demonstrate free-to-play events. I am not going to bother with rerolling for Shayna right away. I can save that banner for later and just reroll on the older banner, which is the Reroll banner. And once you see these, the tutorial is done. You have successfully completed the tutorial. Skip that, as you don't want to do the actual tutorial. Freak out for a second because you think that you accidentally went into the tutorial with confirm, but no, it's just the daily login bonus. You are totally fine. So we get to start off with a nice 250 gems. And what that means is you cannot do a roll right away. So we'll go to our gifts, claim all gifts, and we only get to start off with 250 gems. And what that means is, currently, because there's no decent events, we also get 100 gems for getting our first daily login count. You want to do the first few story missions. You need to get to Chapter 1, Episode 1-5 to earn your first 150 gems and get to 500 gems for a reroll. So I won't bother showing you guys how to do that. It's fairly simple. You literally just let your units auto through it. But if you do want to make it slightly easier, you can do your free rare summon. One quick thing to note when you're rerolling, you can tell if you're getting a unit you've never gotten before. So if you're trying to get your waifu and you've never summoned her before in any of your rerolls, as long as you're not completely reinstalling, any new unit you will need to download files for if you have not used the download all feature. So we just skip past that, and this is fairly useless, so we don't care. And here you can see I've got 2 summons left for 11 hours. And the last thing you want to do on a fresh reroll account is if it's near the end of the day. It's not near the end of the day right now, but if it was, say, 23:57 or something like this on that day, you would want to, as quickly as possible, earn another 30,000 zenny, rush to the secret shop, and use your beginner shop, just in case, because you want to get your daily 10 to summon tickets, which you can get 5 times each day in your beginner shop for your first week of playing. Ideally, you'd also buy the skip tickets, but it's not absolutely mandatory, and the equipment 10 summon tickets are by far the most important thing for you to grab. Anyways, guys, that's how you reroll in the Alchemist Code. I hope this video taught you how to make your rerolling more efficient, or if you were thinking about rerolling, showed you how to do it in the best way. And just expect more content like this to come. Anyways, subscribe if you like it, and have a good one.